Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very special impromptu episode of the Wasting Time podcast. I am your host, Chris. Along with me is Gray. How are you doing, sir?
I am quite well.
Good. No one cared, but it's still good. Uh, Today we are going to be talking about our first video game related topic. In podcasts past, we had been talking about anime and movies like nerds, and now we're going to talk about a different form of nerddom. With video games, Nintendo had an April 1st, a special April Fool's Day edition of Nintendo Direct, where they had a whole bunch of crap that they wanted to announce, and we're gonna talk about those things today.
And we can only assume that it wasn't all just an April Fool's joke.
Right. Knowing Nintendo, all of this is, not gonna happen until it actually does. So I guess there's no better place to start than the beginning. The first thing they show is gameplay of Mewtwo, the first bit of DLC for Super Smash Bros. Coming April 28th, or April 15th, you'll get the download code if you are one of those people who was smart and registered your copy of the 3DS and Wii U versions of the game,
Uh,
which we both forgot
we
to
both
do.
own both versions and yet forgot to do that.
Yep. We're smart, but it's okay. I'll pay for it. I don't care. It's only gonna be like what, $5 or something like that. So
Hopefully, it's not like crazy.
yeah, I see no reason why it would be, because if you were one of those people who got in on it late and they're just like, well, haha, now you have to pay $15. Go fuck yourselves. I think that might earn them a little bit of ill will.
Because they don't have enough of that already.
Yeah, right. Because they are just like, their approval rating is just soaring sky high. But in addition, they also said their April 28th update to Super Smash Bros. On the Wii U is going to also have some more balancing. There's going to be some Mii Fighter costumes, because hooray. Are you excited about more Mii Fighter costumes?
Yeah, because I put so much time and effort into making me custom fighters.
I always laugh at some of the ones that other people create, and then they put them on those like title cards, like the new Challenger Approaches cards. I
Yeah.
like those. Like, my favorite one I've seen is probably Hank Hill bringing the propane. That's the best one because it's an easy one to create. But yeah, more Mii Fighter costumes, more balancing, which sounds kind of interesting, but I mean, you balance those games, it actually gets more unbalanced.
Yeah.
Unless you make shit characters better. I mean, I guess there's really no way to really balance it, but what do I know? Um, their other big announcement for Super Smash Bros. That actually makes me quite happy to know that they're going to continue supporting the game with DLC characters is that Lucas will be joining the fight. He's coming out of nowhere
Yeah.
to join the game, and I'm very excited about this. I enjoyed playing as Lucas in Brawl, and as long as they don't fuck him up, he looks pretty good based on the gameplay videos they showed.
Yeah, and I've actually played Mother 3 and I really like that game, so I'm glad to see Lucas back.
Yeah, hopefully it leads to them eventually realizing that they should just, localize Mother 3.
Yeah, that would be something.
Oh, I mean, it seems like every passing year it gets more likely, with the re-release of Earthbound on the Wii U, Virtual Console, and them focusing on adding Lucas back to Smash Brothers. It's just like they do one thing every year that makes it seem like it'd be more likely, but
Yeah, and like when they had the Fire Emblem characters in Melee, that led to them localizing Fire Emblem games.
yeah. And here we are, and we'll get more into Fire Emblem later, but uh, Fire Emblem's definitely been a big hit as well. So, again, more Smash Brothers stuff. This is probably the most interesting thing that they announced. That wasn't like purely like a new game announcement. Is that they are going to be doing? It's called the Super Smash Brothers Ballot, where you can go to supersmashbrothers.com and you can vote for what character you think should be in Smash Brothers. Just enter your gender, because that's important for them to know what character you're voting for, what game they're from, and why you think they should be a fighter.
Uh, I don't know how many people read the example ballot they had on screen during the direct.
Oh, I certainly did. still makes me laugh that the vote was for Cat Mario.
And the reason why was because I'm a big fan of Meow Meow Mario.
As soon as I saw that, that's the first thing I saw too. When I saw that, I was like, "Who the fuck would vote for Cat Mario?" I didn't even read the reason. I just saw Cat Mario. I was like, "Who the fuck would vote for Cat Mario?" As if Mario's not already plastered enough all over that fucking game with all the different versions. He's
you
already got himself and fucking Dr. Mario. There doesn't need to be another Mario.
and Luigi, who is basically him
Green
but a little
Mario.
different.
Wario, who is yellow fat Mario.
At least he has his own moves completely.
That's true. Where is Luigi? Well, Luigi's not a complete clone. Dr.
Yeah, they've
Mario is.
yeah, that's true. They've differentiated Luigi a lot more in more recent games.
Well, thankfully, they've had 30 years to do that, so.
Well, I just mean in Smash Brothers.
I know, I know, I know. But Luigi's been in all of them. So. But anyway, that was probably the most interesting thing that they announced. And Gray and I have already voted. Gray, would you like to say who you voted for?
I voted twice. I voted for Simon Belmont and Rayman.
Interesting. Now, what is your reasoning behind those choices?
Simon Belmont, just because I love the Castlevania games, and I've always associated them with like the NES and Nintendo, and I think they it would be a good fit with all of his like sub weapons being his different moves.
Mm-hmm.
And for Rayman, I think people will disagree and say that like he's not enough of a gaming icon, but I totally don't agree with that. He's been in a ton of games. Rayman 2 rather is one of the like most ported games in all of history. It's been on a ton of different consoles, a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo consoles, and Rayman Legends was a Wii U exclusive, and they put Rayman Trophy in the new Smash Brothers, just not as a playable character. So that's a pretty good sign.
It was not Wii U exclusive, though. It was well, I guess it was a timed exclusive. It came out on Wii U first, but Rayman Legends was eventually brought over to the other systems
Oh, okay, but it was developed for Wii U.
at first, and then they ported it over pretty quickly to the others.
Yeah.
But just wanted to put that out there.
Okay.
I agree with what you're saying. Still, like, I don't think that means I disagree with you. I also agree that Rayman is a gaming icon. Most people, when they see Rayman, know who he is, and I think that's pretty much the definition of an icon. If you take a look at it and you know immediately what it is and what it's from, I think that fits perfectly. And I also agree that Rayman would be an interesting character. I'd be interested to see what Sakurai and Co did with his moveset.
Yeah.
Now, for my vote, most people may say that I did this just purely as a joke, but if you know me, you'll know I actually want this. I do actually want this character to be in Smash Brothers. I voted for Rhine from
And
Xenoblade Chronicles.
and what was your stated reason?
My stated reason was a joke. I will admit that. I will admit this. But my reason why Rhine should be a fighter is because, and I quote, "It's Rhine time. You can't have a rainbow without Rhine. What a bunch of jokers." And I think that's a good reason. I think it's well thought out, and I think I got my point across.
Such a persuasive argument.
It is. Like, what a bunch of jokers they would be if they didn't put in Rhine, and while they're at it, make a Rhine amiibo that has a button where you could push it and he talks, and he'll say, "What a bunch of jokers."
They should also make that one a wool amiibo.
Yes, he should also be a cloth amiibo. So he's like a plushie that says, "What a bunch of jokers." All right. Speaking of amiibo, the other announcement that they had was basically the amiibo announcements they're basically going to be split up out through September between a Wave 4 set of amiibo and a Wave 5 set of amiibo. Basically the rest of the cast, with the exception of the new people they're adding, Mewtwo and Lucas, which will also get their own amiibos, but they're not going to go into those until the future. I don't have the list of like who's coming out at what date, but suffice it to say, a shitload of them are coming out in May. and they've got them split up out through September, and they've announced ones for Jigglypuff and Greninja's in there as well. They've got Dark Pit and Palutena are coming out in July, I believe, and then there's others for September. So
Wario.
yeah, Wario, pretty much everybody else,
Except for Game and Watch.
and Falco. I don't think I saw Falco, but again, I didn't
Or
write
Rob.
down. Or Rob, yeah, or Rob. So there's a few more amiibo from the Smash Brothers line that haven't been announced. It seems like they're saving for a future Wave 6. So, and that's pretty much all they had to say about Smash Brothers, or things related to them, outside of the what I just said about Mewtwo and Lucas are also getting amiibos, but they're waiting until the future for those
Yeah.
ones.
Some pretty interesting, cool stuff to come out of that little
Yeah,
segment.
for Smash Brothers, it's good. I mean, obviously, you're gonna dedicate a lot of time to that because that's their big thing. That's what's moved the systems for them. So only makes sense. The next thing they talked about was something called Amiibo Tap, Nintendo's greatest bits, which is basically you tap an amiibo onto the gamepad and you can play like a small, different small segments, 3-minute segments from games that character has starred in. At least that's what it makes it seem like. But I think there might have been like a weird kind of glitch in there because they said that whatever one you get, like when you like they show it in their little graphic. There's like you can place a Mario amiibo down, and you can play 3 different stages from Super Mario World. But then they said it's like, oh, but it's randomly generated as well, so you could get a different game as well. I was like, so if you put, and they showed like you could put Mario down and get Super Metroid, and I was like, how does that work? Why would you do that? I think
Yeah.
it would be better if it was just the one, or maybe different games from that series, but again, if you put Shulk down, you're going to play 3 minutes of Xenoblade. What's the point? So,
Watch 3 minutes of a cutscene.
yeah, exactly. Those cutscenes do last pretty long in Xenoblade, so. But, I mean, it's an interesting little idea, and it's for free, which is smart. It's coming out this spring. It'd be interesting to see it in practice, but I'm not sure. Not something I'm hugely excited for, but I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm not huge into amiibos to start with, so I didn't really have an interest in it.
I'm huge into amiibos. I'm very, but even with me, it's like I'm huge into amiibos, but purely from a collector standpoint, where I just want to display them because I haven't
Yeah.
even I got a shitload of amiibos and like I haven't even used them in Smash Brothers yet, and I don't really care to.
Well, the functionality in Smash Bros is a little bit wank.
Wonky, yeah. Um, and there's other games where they have more, where they have better uses. Like for example, Hyrule Warriors. If you use the specific characters like Link and Sheik or Zelda, then you'll get specific items. Whereas the rest of the characters net you like rupees or something. And I was like, that's better. But even that, I still haven't used it, and I probably won't ever use it. I just want them for the sake of having them to display
Yeah.
because I'm a loser. But anyway, their next announcement was the for the 30th anniversary of Super Mario. They talked about Mario Maker, which will be available this September, and it's basically like Mario Paint.
Yeah.
Only you get to make your own Mario themed levels using different backdrops. You can either use the old NES Super Mario Brothers as your backdrop. You can use Super Mario World. You can use New Super Mario Brothers. So again, a pretty cool thing. Probably something I won't do too much with, but still cool idea for those who want to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I think I might use it a bit. It seems pretty cool to me. But
Just make Super Kaizo Mario.
yeah, I'm afraid that's what a lot of people are going to do is just make like Kaizo levels.
Yeah, I was like, hey, try out my level. It's super cool, and it's just, the entire screen is just filled with bullet bills.
Yeah, slowing down the frame rate.
Yeah, exactly. Gonna be completely ridiculous. Um, Next up, moving right along, Yoshi's Woolly World. They talked about for a little bit. I'm super excited for Yoshi's Woolly World. One of the interesting announcements that they made about the gameplay itself is that it's going to be 2 modes. There's going to be a classic mode and a mellow mode. Mellow mode seems like it's going to be more along the lines of like Kirby's Epic Yarn, where Death really didn't have any major consequences outside of not getting like a high score. Um,
They also
and there's
showed that you had like wings in mellow mode and could just kind of float around, which
that's one thing I didn't really care for. I was like, if you want to do a mellow mode, that's fine, but like I mean, just to fly past everything, it just seems like you're just I don't know. That one
yeah,
seems kind of It's like why would you want to play that? It's like maybe if you got like a 4-year-old who wants to play, but like I think mellow mode there should have been 3 modes, maybe like the classic mode, which is like there's difficulty and death has consequences and it's an actual challenge. Maybe
yeah,
something in between mellow mode and classic mode where it's more like Kirby's Epic Yarn where you could still die and it just kind of it fucks up stuff a little bit, but it's not like crazy difficult. And then you
yeah.
have mellow mode for people who just want to fly past everything because that I feel like it skips the gameplay.
Yeah, that's the thing, and it's kind of in line with a lot of weird, questionable things Nintendo's been putting into a lot of their games for like the last few years, where it's like, oh, you suck. Well, you can just have the game play itself basically because you're so terrible.
um, but yeah, they announced that, which is, I mean, interesting in theory. The video they showed didn't make it look very good, but
Yeah, and
um,
uh, I kind of get it in theory because like you want to make a balance between like the Yoshi's Island that everybody remembers that was like pretty challenging, and like Kirby's Epic Yarn, which was more of a relaxing type of game.
yeah, but I think they kind of went a little too overboard. At least
Yeah,
based off of the couple, you know, like the 30-second demo of it that they showed. I don't think it. I think they went a little too overboard. But in addition, they announced that there was going to be a special Yoshi amiibo for Yoshi's Woolly World, and it is a Yoshi Yarn amiibo, which I will absolutely get. Yoshi's one of my favorites. I love Yoshi. I've got both versions of Yoshi right now, his Smash Brothers and Super Mario Brothers line. Um,
it's
and I
pretty
will
adorable.
absolutely be getting this one too.
The wool one is pretty adorable.
It is in fact pretty adorable. Um, but its functionality in the game is actually more interesting than most amiibo functionality, where it puts like a second Yoshi into the game that you can use him as a weapon basically, and he follows kind of like he mimics the exact same movements you do with the controller. So if you put him in different spots, you can unlock different secrets in different areas. So that's kind of cool.
Although the way the guy who presented it made it seem was like, if you're a lonely fuck who doesn't have somebody to play multiplayer with.
Yeah, it's like even when you're playing single player, you won't be alone. You fucking hermit. um, yes, that's exactly what Bill Trinan said. Way to go, Nintendo of America. That game will be released later this fall. I'm very excited for it. That's one of my definite gets for the end of the year. I'm
Yeah.
excited for that game. Next, they went into a game, one of those games that comes out during the summer drought that I'm actually looking forward to. I actually conceive myself playing is Splatoon.
Yeah, I'm actually really interested in Splatoon.
I am too, as like I've been playing a lot of shooters like my entire life, and I've played a lot of online shooters as well, from Call of Duty to Battlefield, Halo. I played Mag, stupid games, and like even back in the day playing GoldenEye LAN. So
Yeah, I like that it's a different concept on shooters. Like, it's not just a
I do
death
too.
match.
I agree. So for today, they announced a couple of different modes. Specifically, like basically like a practice mode, which okay, sure, that makes sense. Probably be a good thing to do so you get accustomed to the different maps. But they also announced a ranked mode. I don't know if this required an announcement because I felt like this would be something that would be a gimme because
Yeah,
most online shooters have a ranked mode, and announcing
maybe
one seems
they
kind of weird.
maybe they thought of it like they need to just because Nintendo's kind of weird about that stuff, and it's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
they actually have a ranked mode.
Right. But there's also going to be the turf war thing, which is you cover the most surface area with ink. There's just the shooter part of it, which is the ranked mode. At least that's how they made that sound. There's a practice mode, and there's also a single player campaign. Although I worry that it's just going to be like bot matches. without like they say there's a story, but I feel like it's not like a level thing. It's just like bot matches, but I don't know.
Uh, I think I've seen some stuff about it. I haven't looked into it too much, but I think there's like actual levels, but they might just be the multiplayer maps.
Yeah. At first, I was afraid it was going to be like a Titanfall thing where you got your story through the multiplayer, which is a terrible idea, and hopefully Titanfall 2 doesn't do that. Again, that's way off topic, a topic for another day, but I feared that that was going to be the case at first, but I guess it's looking like that's not going to be the case. Um, Again, proving Nintendo is really focusing on their amiibo. Hopefully, they will be better at distributing them because they've been magnificently shit at it so far.
Yeah.
With pretty much every single wave, they're 0 for 3. And it looks like they're going to go 0 for 4 with this new wave because there's still no pre-order announcements as of the time we're recording this, and there probably won't be.
Yeah.
But there are going to be special amiibo for Splatoon as well. Three to be more specific. There's going to be the Inkling Girl, the Inkling Boy, and a squid, a little squidling. You can get them all together in a pack of 3, or you can do the wrong choice and get the boy and the girl separately and not get the squid at all.
Yeah.
Which seems kind of ridiculous to me. I like the idea of them doing a 3-pack. Like, that's a really good idea. They should do that more. With,
Yeah, like
their other ones.
Skylanders does that. Disney Infinity does that. Why not?
Yeah,
do
why not
that?
Amiibo? And especially when you just do it based off of what game they're from. So, like, have a huge, like, multi-pack with, like, who cares? Fucking Robin and Lucina, the Fire Emblem characters, do one for that. Do one for eventually when you have Ness and Lucas out, do a double pack. It just seems like it would be a almost, no-brainer, but who knows with Nintendo.
Yeah.
But the game will be released May 29th alongside a shitload of other amiibo, and so that's going to be a pretty big day for me because I'm probably going to get some of those amiibo, and also we'll be getting Splatoon, so pack your dollars away now. Next thing they said was more virtual console stuff. The N64 and DS games are going to be on Wii U Virtual Console. If you already purchased it on the Wii, you'll get them for a discounted price of $2 a pop. The rest kind of range, it looks like, from between like $10 and they go up to about $10, maybe a little bit more depending on the game. So, again, it's just cool to get more stuff on the Wii U. Virtual Console was a super smart idea in the first place. So
Yeah, and DS games is an interesting idea. I wish that the transferring Nintendo 64 games was free and not just a discount, but
yeah,
what are you gonna do?
it's only if you've already purchased it on the Nintendo Wii Virtual Console.
Yeah.
Not if you've purchased the games. Like, I have a shitload of games for the N64 that are still on my N64, but
I know.
that's why I don't really care much about the Virtual Consoles, at least as much as a lot of other people do, is because a lot of the games that I would play for the N64, I already have on the N64, and I have my N64, and I'm willing to bust it out if I want to play it. If I want to get into some Banjo-Kazooie, I can just pop that in, so.
I have mine hooked up right now. Haven't used it in a while, though.
God, yeah, it's been actually the last time I used it was to play Banjo-Kazooie, so. But anyway, yeah, that's cool. They had an announcement of some kind of like indie games. They had like a montage of indie games. They focused on Adventures of Pip, Octodad Dadliest Catch, Mutant Mud's Super Challenge, and Don't Starve Giant Edition. Again, it's cool that they're focusing on the indie games. One thing I really noticed, it was a lot of games that are already on other consoles.
Yeah.
And have been for a long time, like Octodad and Don't Starve. Those were out like at the launch of the PS4 and Xbox One.
And there was one that was like Adventure of Pixel or something like that looks exactly like Adventures of Pip.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the exact same thing.
I was like, that's odd.
Yeah, so most of those, I mean, it's good that they're getting those games, but none of them were, like, stood out to me in a way I was like, oh man, that's a reason to get it on the Wii U. Like, especially with, like, Octodad or Don't Starve. I was like, I already have Don't Starve, so it's like, nothing about this edition makes me seem like I'd want to get it. Although there was one interesting thing that they announced with Don't Starve Giant Edition specifically, that if you purchased a copy, you got a second copy for free to gift to one of your friends. So, I mean, that's an interesting way to do some word of mouth, but then again, why would they purchase the
Like,
game?
I assume that it's like so that you can play multiplayer together, but they didn't specifically say that, so
No,
I
they
don't
just
know.
said you can give it to a friend. I was like, oh, okay. Well, then why would the friend have any reason to buy it? And your little virus stops right there. Um, Probably for a word of mouth thing specifically. It's like you can tell another friend, it's like, hey, you should buy this game, and then give it to someone else. It's like now we've got four people playing, so I guess there is something behind it. But
Yeah.
um, next thing, didn't know what it was at first. You and I were both excited because we saw the Atlas logo, and they're finally talking about a game that they haven't talked about in a couple of years, and it's Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem.
Yeah. Looks
And
pretty cool.
yeah, it does. It looks great. Yeah. Um, the trailer is like super anime though.
I didn't
Then again,
mind.
those games are, but
Yeah, it's Fire Emblem and Shin Megami Tensei.
yeah, it's
So,
like double the anime. But no, it's like I really like Fire Emblem. I was like I haven't gotten into Shin Megami Tensei as much. I intend to. I've played a couple different games for a little bit here and there. Um, I would definitely say I would get it. I'm getting it strictly. I will get it strictly for the fact that it's Fire Emblem and that I recognize the Shin Megami Tensei as a quality name. So
yeah. I like both series, so it's pretty
yeah,
cool.
it'd be interesting to see how the gameplay works though, because all they really said about it is that it'll be a super modern RPG in which everyday life exists, which I felt like I jotted that down as a specific note that one of the selling points is that everyday life exists in this game.
I think they were saying that it exists alongside, like, fantasy elements,
Yes, I know.
like in the Persona series.
Right. But still, it'll be interesting to see what the actual gameplay is, how it plays. So,
Yeah.
um, next thing they announced, I'm super excited for because I'm a huge fan of the franchise. Fatal Frame on the Wii
Yeah,
U. It just seems perfect for the Wii U to use the gamepad as a camera, and I've always loved Fatal Frame. I've played Crimson Butterfly I don't know how many times, so I'm stoked to play
yeah.
Fatal Frame again.
This is a must buy for the
Oh yeah,
year.
yep. And we can't confirm this, but I think it's fair to say that everybody should buy this game for the simple reason that if it does well, we might finally see a new Pokemon Snap.
We can always hope and dream.
Yeah. Again, the Wii U, perfect for it.
Yeah, show Nintendo that cameras not being a novelty anymore doesn't mean that a game like this can't work.
Right. And that we totally need Pokemon Snap 2
Yeah.
with more stages, more
More
powerful Pester
Pokemon.
Balls, more Pokemon. I love
More
the Pester Ball. Like
what
that's a great thing.
and like more branching paths that you can take. And,
Yeah.
oh, it would be
I
so
wish
good.
Pester Balls existed in real life. So I would just throw them at people I don't like.
It's fun to throw the food at them and then switch to the pester balls and throw
It's like,
the pester balls
yeah,
at
throw
them.
an apple. Yeah, eat this apple. Oh, thank you, benevolent human, for this apple. Oh, take a picture of me while I eat this apple. Good. Now die. Eat mustard gas. Little shit. Eat this mustard gas so you can evolve. I'm just gonna hit you with this pester ball, make you fall into lava, and you'll be a Charizard.
And then you're gonna breathe fire at me, and instead of hurting me, I'm gonna just get a really cool picture of it.
Professor Oak's gonna give me so many points in spite of the fact that the entire frame is loaded with fire.
All you can see is fire.
Whoa, is that Charizard breathing fire? 1,200 points! Little out of frame, though. Sorry, we're gonna have to throw this picture in the garbage. Anyway, that little detour out of the way. Fatal Frame, coming later this year. Next thing they announced is a little indie game coming out actually tomorrow. We're recording this right after the direct has ended, and this game is coming out tomorrow. It's called Box Boy, and it's a little side-scrolling puzzle game that actually looks very interesting.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it? Because you seemed like you were interested when they were showing it.
I just like the concept of like having the other boxes around you, and you can like move them around to do different things. That seemed cool.
Yeah, it's
Like
got
there's a
cool
lot you can do with
elements.
that.
Yeah,
And and it had a really simple but like cute aesthetic that was really charming.
Yeah, and you can unlock different costumes for it. It seems like to me like kind of a in the same vein as like a Super Meat Boy, where all you unlock different costumes, where it's basically the same thing but they're different. It gives the game a sense of charm and personality, and I kind of
Yeah,
dig it. It looks simple, but it also seems like it'd be pretty fun to play. Something to look at tomorrow, maybe.
yeah.
Um, Next up, Nintendo's foray into the free-to-play market, Pokemon Rumble World. Now, I've never personally been interested in the Pokemon Rumble series before. Had no reason to get into it. I felt, but this one, it's going to be free to play. It's coming out next week, April 8th. And basically, how it's going to work is it's free to play, so you can download it for free. And different actions you take cost, the currency in the game, which is called Poke Diamonds. But I guess there's also like a paid mechanic where if you want to purchase more of those diamonds, you can. Um,
Yeah, or you can get them in game or through Spot Pass, so it's not
yes.
just
So
a
yeah.
pay to play type of thing.
Yes, it's not a pay to win, which is what I feared when I heard it's like you can download it for free. I was like, oh, why would you say? I don't even think it was Iwata. I don't know why I'm using the Iwata voice. I think it was actually Bill Trinan who was talking about it. But
It's
yay
it's not like
racism.
Rusty's Real Deal Baseball where you paid real money to play mini games
Or
to
Final Fantasy All the Bravest, or Dungeon Keeper Mobile, or
yeah.
any of the other list of shitty pay to play games.
But Rusty's Real Deal Baseball was from Nintendo, and I don't know if you ever saw anything about it, but it was like
No.
really like underhanded like seedy shit. Like
I tend to ignore garbage like that.
uh,
Um,
but like you paid real money to gamble on mini games to get
oof.
fake money.
Ooh, that's not good. Um, I don't know. It still looks overall talking about the game itself. It still looks like something I'd be okay skipping. I mean, the fact that it's free makes me more interested than I would have been had it been like the Rumble Blast, which I think was on the Wii, where you paid $40 and there you go, you got your game. But I'm more interested that it's free than I would be had
Yeah,
you paid for it. But still, not really something I'm going crazy over.
that's how they get you.
That is how they get you. It's like you consider it and then you download it and then you get addicted.
And then you want to pay real money even though you know
Eh,
better.
See that stuff? I get fooled a lot into spending my money on garbage I don't need to like look at all the amiibos I have. Uh, but I'm always really good with the pay to play kind of games. Like I'm always just like as soon as I see like you can pay for this and make it go quicker. No, I don't think so. It's like I've never been fooled by that yet, and hopefully I never will be. I'll continue to be fooled on other stuff, but on pay to play stuff, it's like just listen to that song by the Who. It's like I won't get fooled again.
Yeah, I was thinking about that just now too.
We won't get fooled again. Oh man, good times. Uh, the next thing they announced, they made it sound like two massive RPGs are going to be coming together in one package, um, and that is the Puzzle Plus Dragons Z, along with Puzzle Plus Dragons Super Mario Edition, which looks like just like a what do they call those kind of puzzle games? Like a
Match 3?
yeah, like a match three kind of puzzle game. Uh, and then there's a story to it. So
Yeah, and there's like RPG elements to it.
yeah, and there's RPG elements. It looks more. I mean, they made it sound more complicated than it probably is. Um, I'm more interested. I would be actually more interested in playing the Z story because I think the
Yeah,
story to that feels like it'd be more interesting than
there's probably
what they
like an
showed for the
actual
Mario
story
one.
there. Yeah, the Mario one, you could play as Mario and even boo Luigi.
Yeah, and what was our
Or maybe
reactions
a
like?
Lakitu riding a Cheep Cheep.
And yeah, and the thought to that is, why would you want to play as Boo Luigi? What's wrong with regular Luigi? And how does the upgrade for the Koopa Troopa become Koopa Troopa riding a Cheep Cheep? Makes no sense. Like to me, I thought the logical progression of those would be Koopa Troopa, Koopa Paratroopa, maybe Dry Bones, and then you go up to like a Hammer Bros. But
Yeah,
who knows?
they
I don't.
probably wanted to make the Hammer Bros their own separate thing.
Probably. But there you have it. Puzzle plus Dragon Z. I'm more interested in that. It's coming out May 22nd.
Yeah, but
Um,
both games are together, so
both
if
games are
you're
together.
interested
Yes,
in one, you can
you
get
can
the
play
other as
one.
well.
They said they were going to be massive RPGs. Something tells me they're really not going to last too long. Like I don't see how you could stretch that mechanic out to like a 30-plus hour RPG. But who knows? I've been proven wrong before. Um,
I'm interested enough in it.
I'm interested enough. Probably not a day one buy, but maybe if it goes on sale, I might
Yeah.
consider it. Um, Next thing they announced, it's going to be exclusive to the eShop. I did not. You and I are pretty much both in the same boat. Didn't think it was going to get localized here. It's for a franchise that I think I can say fairly that both of us really, really like, and it's Attack on Titan: Humanity in Chains. It's going to be coming out in May exclusively to the eShop. If you purchase it, you get the first 2 episodes of the anime, is what they made it sound like, as well.
I think the first 2 episodes of the anime are just available on
Available.
their streaming service on the
Okay.
PS.
Okay. That makes more sense then. But still, the game itself looks like it'll play like complete garbage on a regular 3DS. It seems like there'd be no point in getting this unless you have a new Nintendo 3DS XL.
Yeah, and can use the C stick to control the camera.
Yeah, and as soon as they said that, I was like, it's gonna play like complete shit on a 2DS or a 3DS. So, I'm personally I'm waiting to get a new Nintendo 3DS XL until they do like another bundle deal where you get like a special cool looking one. Because I couldn't get the Majora's Mask one in time because Nintendo's fucking shipping hates me. They don't like to distribute anything, so I couldn't get one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the game itself. I mean, taking down Titans. That could be, depending on again everything on this one comes down to how it would play control wise. I'm very leery of how of that game in its control, but hey, I love Attack on Titan, so seeing stuff get made with it is cool for me.
I'd want to get it just to show my support for the franchise.
Same here. That's the only thing that's keeping me from just saying a complete no based off of how uncertain I am of how it will play.
Yeah, and I'm hearing like kind of meh word of mouth about it too. So
that makes sense. Just based off of the kind of game that it appears to be, and the kind of control scheme that those kind of games would have on a 3DS.
yeah, like why is it even on 3DS?
I don't know. Just put it on the fucking Wii U. It's on the eShop for Christ's sake. But that was the deal with that. It's going to be coming out in May. Also coming out in May, their next announcement was they were announcing different things for Codename Steam, a game that's already out. I haven't played it yet, so I can't really speak to its quality. It's been kind of mixed in the reviews that I've seen, but they're announcing different online tournaments for it. And the main announcement that I jotted down, because this was the thing that appealed to me, was that more Marth Amiibos are on their way. We already knew that, but now they've given it a more accurate time frame of May. So
Yeah.
I mean, cool. I couldn't get a Marth Amiibo. I wanted one from the beginning, but again, Nintendo's distribution hates its customers, so they weren't available. So to appease us, they're re-releasing them.
Another interesting thing about the Project Steam announcement was that they announced like updates to the game
Steam.
itself.
It's Codename Steam, not Project Steam.
Okay.
I just didn't want you to. I just
Didn't want
sure
me to
you
look
knew.
like a fool, but too late.
Yeah, you already did, but at least now you know the actual thing.
Yeah, but anyways, they announced some updates to the game itself that address criticism that I had noticed mentioned in reviews, like
Yeah.
the ability to speed up opponent turns and things like that.
Right. Which is just seems like it's an important thing that you should have with a game like that anyway. The ability to fast forward through your opponent's turn, because that kind of stuff moves really slow and you don't want to be there forever waiting for your opponent.
But I think it's cool that they listen to criticism and
Right. Especially, yeah. And you know what? Like, good for them. And I like intelligent designs. They make good stuff.
intelligent
So-
designs, intelligent systems.
See? There you go.
I got you back.
You got me back, and we're good. Although yours was way more egregious than mine. we're on even footing now.
Well, you made them sound like a Christian creationist
I did.
foundation.
Well, you made the game sound like a homework assignment about the properties of Steam. So yeah, this is why you tune in, folks. Um,
Nonsensical back and forth.
yeah, witty banter is what it's called.
Okay.
Uh, at least that's what I've been told. Anyway,
I don't know what I don't know about the witty part.
oh, it's witty. It's so witty. Um, Before we get even further off of track, um, they also announced that there's going to be some updates to the Mi Plaza, where they really take advantage of the Street Pass functionality of the Nintendo 3DS. There's going to be two more games available, and the thing that kind of intrigues me, but not really in a good way, is that there is going to be a paid Street Pass service as well. Street Pass plus Premium or whatever it's called. I'm not sure that is a good idea, personally, because I mean, really, the time I get the most use out of Street Pass anything is when I go to conventions. Outside of that, no so much.
Yeah, I was basically not interested in any of this stuff, so I kind of tuned out at this point.
Yeah, this was that one I almost tuned out for, but and I mean, even the games that they announced, there's a zombie game that's based off of the hobbies that the people you Street Pass with. You use their hobby as like a weapon, so if the person hobby is like music or something, you fight with like a kazoo or whatever the fuck it was. The other one was like a fishing one where you get bait from different people and you use the different bait to catch different fish. And there's 150 fish.
Or more to see.
Yeah, to be the Fishimon master is my destiny.
That's something they said with Puzzle and Dragon too. They were like 250 plus monsters.
Are more to see because Gray and I regurgitate jokes endlessly. um, oh man. But yeah, that had no interest. Did not resonate with me at all. But the next thing did. If you were listening earlier, it's already been announced. We know it's coming out. In a little over a week. April 10th, Xenoblade Chronicles 3D.
I was under the impression that it was already out.
No, it is not.
Because it's
Comes
already
out
got
April
like
10th.
the reviews for it and everything are already out.
Well, yeah, it already exists. It's basically the same thing. Um, so yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles is coming out for exclusively, this is important to distinguish that it is exclusive to the new Nintendo 3DS XL. If you have a regular 3DS or a 2DS, you can go fuck yourself because you're not getting it. Because it needs the C-Stick. It absolutely needs it. Which again makes
And
me
you can't play it on the regular 3DS anyways.
right. Oh, and it makes me question why put it on the 3DS at all.
Yeah, because like one of the selling points of that game is like the huge, beautiful environments, and you don't
Yeah,
get that sense of scale in the small screen,
right.
and uh, the controls are already wonky enough.
Yeah, like the Wii controls were not great for that game. The 3DS is only more wonky, even for RPGs. Uh, well, not for RPGs in general, that's unfair, but for more action oriented stuff, especially where success in Xenoblade focuses on character placement and your ability to control the camera so that you don't get screwed up and ability to make quick decisions, I don't feel like the 3DS was a good choice. I think they would have been better just fucking putting an HD remaster on Xenoblade and putting it on the Wii U.
Yeah, I would prefer that as well.
Well, yeah. I think that would resonate with more people. Not that I'm saying there's not going to be any people who, there's not going to be people who will buy Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, but they've really limited their market.
Yeah, like I have no interest in it because I don't really want a new 3DS. Nothing's caught my eye, and I already have the original game, so why bother?
Right, I have the original game, and there's only two games so far that really look like they'll benefit from having the new Nintendo 3DS, and that's Xenoblade Chronicles 3D and the Attack on Titan game that we just talked about, both of which are kind of iffy to begin with. So, yeah, this one, Xenoblade and I have been fighting for quite a while already, so I don't think a new fight between the two of us is really a good idea.
You mean you mean you don't want to put another 60 hours into it after you're done with the Wii version?
No, I don't, believe it or not. Once I'm done with the Wii version, I'll be perfectly happy to put 60 hours into Xenoblade Chronicles X, which will probably be bigger, better. Well, it's definitely going to be bigger. It's definitely going to be better looking, and hopefully they'll take some of the criticisms with the first game to heart, and it will just be that much better. That's actually a sequel that I'm really looking forward to, in spite of the fact that, a good chunk of the previous game was very wonky to me.
It'll have a marginally better controller at least.
That is true. That is definitely true. As long as hopefully Ryan's there, he won't be, but he needs to be.
Different continuity, man.
A cameo, just somebody to say what a bunch of jokers, and I'll be fine.
Maybe you'll have another different party member who has all of the same lines.
That'd be fine for me. It's like
Even at trying time.
you just got some character named Jeff, and he's like, you can't have a rainbow without Ryan. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, Jeff?
Can't have a rainbow without Jeff.
Yeah, it's Jeff time. What a bunch of jokers! Yay!
Hopefully they use an all English voice cast again.
Oh yeah, their Britishness really fucking. I love it. That's what makes it so good.
Like, it's kind of funny. It's like totally like an incidental, like kind of accidental thing that it was localized over there first, and so it ended up like that. But it gives it like a unique flavor compared to other like fantasy RPGs.
Yeah. Um. So yep, that's April 10th. Xenoblade Chronicles 3D. Some of you might be interested in it. Gray and I are kind of outside the ballpark on that one.
Yeah, not really interested.
The next thing, though, we are both hugely interested in. We talked about it a little bit earlier, how much we loved the franchise, and that is the new Fire Emblem.
Yeah, this looks really good.
Yeah, holy shit! Like, and not just like in terms of like gameplay, which we know will be great because it's intelligent systems. Uh, but just graphically, it looks amazing for something that's going to be on the 3DS. It looks fantastic, and I'm really interested in the story ideas that they're doing with it. I mean, the fact that the created character that you have is the main character, I mean, that doesn't really appeal to me that much. I was like, they're like, oh, it's the first time it's ever happened in the series. I was like, yeah, cool, but,
I'd rather
that happens in every other game where you create a main character. But the thing that really interests me is the fact that there are two different story paths that you can take, and there's like a legitimate difference between them. So it's like there's two warring factions. If you pick one faction, the game's going to play like a more traditional Fire Emblem game. It's going to be more accessible to people who have been playing the franchise for a long time. But if you pick the other one, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. And I was like, that's kind of an interesting idea.
Yeah, and it's not the first time that they've done like branching storylines in a Fire Emblem game, but the idea that the gameplay is going to be significantly different is interesting. And also, I'll be interested to see how well they implement this, but they also promise like, depending on the decisions you make, it would have like branching paths, even in addition to that, and
Yeah.
like change the outcome of battles and things like that.
Yeah, that also interests me. Excited to see how that plays out. We won't be seeing this game until around 2016. So, but yeah, I'm really stoked for it. I love Fire Emblem. So I'm excited for more. Now, these next two things, we're into the final two things now. And the reason why I say that is because I want to really drive the point home that the announcement of Fire Emblem should have been where they stopped. Because these next two things are completely should have been in the middle. Like I would think that the last thing you announce for something like this is like a big announcement of a new game, or you have something that's kind of coming out a little further away, and that's what you save for the end. And I think Fire Emblem would have been a good closer. Instead, they start talking about a new game uh, that's using these. They're not amiibos. They're little trading cards for a game called Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer. And it's all about home decorating.
Yeah, I love the
Um,
Animal Crossing franchise, but I had no interest in this, and it
I
was
am
funny.
I'm astoundingly disinterested in this. Like, this looks completely ridiculous and horrible to me. No thanks.
The funny thing, like, about it was like they were like, it's like Animal Crossing without the chores,
And
but
then you
then
design homes,
and then you design homes for other people.
which is a chore. But yeah, it's like, oh, these people have specific needs and design a home, design a room to fit what they want. And they say, this person is a bookworm, so the room is just loaded with books. That's it. That's all they did. It's like, how do you make a room appeal to a bookworm? I guess this is just put books in there. Who needs like chairs and rugs and shit? Just put books.
Just books everywhere.
Just a giant, like, because that's what there was. Like, there was a giant fucking bookshelf, and then there was like a little desk table, like a little end table with a lamp on it, and a pile of fucking books. Unbelievable. But
Yeah,
that's coming
not
this fall.
interested.
Not interested at all.
The,
Uh,
the the other thing about it is like it makes me worry that like there's a bunch of Animal Crossing characters that I really like, and if they get like stupid cards instead of like
actual
amiibo
amiibo.
figures, like specifically like
Isabel.
Nook and Isabelle,
Yeah.
especially Isabelle. She's what a great character design.
Yeah. Like, yeah, Isabel and Nook should definitely be their own amiibos. Um, Not silly trading cards, because that's the funny thing is like I'm interested in the figures, the amiibo figures, but amiibo cards, no, they don't do it for me.
Yeah, like what's even the
Com-
point?
yeah, it's like, why bother? Like, the whole reason why people are interested in amiibo is because it's figures. I mean, the reason why Nintendo was doing them in the first place is because Skylanders and Disney Infinity was so popular with their figurines.
And nobody cares about the Skylanders trading cards.
No, because they don't use them. Like, they're useless. Like, that's the thing, and I get the same feeling. That's what this is gonna be. But
Did you know that with the first wave of Skylanders, like for like the first couple of waves, they sold the trading cards separately, and you could buy the trading cards like in booster packs.
I did know that.
Like,
Um,
what's even the point?
well, there wasn't, because they don't sell them anymore like that. At least to my knowledge, they don't.
I don't think they do.
Yeah. Um. So I mean, like, I had heard that Nintendo was planning on doing a separate amiibo thing that wasn't specifically figurines, but I don't know why they're bothering. Like, the bread and butter has been the figurines, so
Yeah, I
there's a
heard
reason why they've sold so much, why they made so much money off of them. It's because it's the collectible Nintendo figurines. So
if only they tried to meet demand better.
yeah, once again, Nintendo distribution does not like its customers. So
But I had heard the rumors about them being cards, like as the alternate thing before.
yeah,
And the way I'd heard it like talked about before was like they were going to re-release the amiibos that they were running out of that they were going to re-release were going to be re-released as cards instead of
yeah.
figures, and I was
So
like, that would have been really lame. So at least they're not
in
doing that.
yeah, I remember hearing that rumor that in reference specifically to Marth, Villager, and Wii Fit Trainer, they were going to be released specifically as cards, and I was like, I would have hated that, but I'm glad they, at least so far with Marth, they've said that they're going to re-release them, and I think based off of that, that's their end game. I think is what they're going to do. I think they kind of showed their hand a little bit with the Marth thing, because they said, oh, and Fire Emblem amiibos will be usable in Codename Steam. And I was like,
Yeah.
I think going forward, like when there's something that really heavily features like Animal Crossing or Wii Fit, they might re-release the Wii Fit Trainer and um, Villager as well. But who knows? Nintendo is really weird and stupid with a lot of this stuff, so I could be
Yeah.
completely wrong about that. But that brings us to the final announcement. This is what Nintendo was saving for last, and man, did they go out on a doozy. Animal Crossing DLC for Mario Kart 8.
Which they
Get
had already announced.
Pop your champagne corks now, ladies and gentlemen. Animal Crossing DLC, where you can play as Villager, male or female, or Isabelle, or my favorite Animal Crossing character, Dry Bowser.
Yeah, like they'd announced it before too.
Yeah, everybody
Like,
knew
this
it was
wasn't
coming.
new.
We knew it was coming back when they released the Zelda DLC pack. They were like, "Oh yeah, and we're also doing Animal Crossing." Okay, sweet. And I was like, as soon as they said that, I was like, "All right, so they must be building up to something big then, if that's what they're talking about now." But to end the Nintendo Direct, they said there's going to be a new class of difficulty for Mario Kart 8, and it is 200cc. Which intrigues me because the AI is already pretty fucking rubber bandy on 150cc and even worse on Mirror, so
Yeah, like
now you can lose faster.
I'm terrible at 150cc, so of course what I'm going to want is an even harder difficulty.
Right, and it's funny too because Iwata was like, "Oh yeah, it's like even if you don't think you can handle it, you should do it anyway because we're releasing it on April 23rd."
My birthday.
Bye bye.
What a birthday present for me.
More difficulty for Mario Kart 8. Happy birthday to you. But yeah, it was like, and then as soon as they were like bye bye, I was like, that's what you end on,
Well, maybe that's why they did it on April 1st, is so that they could.
so they could have their
That
joke
was
ending.
Yeah, that was their April Fool's joke portion of it. Was that was the ending?
That's terrible. But yeah, I was actually I was expecting there was going to be some information about Star Fox.
Yeah.
But it sounds to me like they're saving that for their eventual E3 Nintendo Direct, which is only a couple months away now. So
Yep.
I'm assuming
There's-
they're just going to wait till then.
There was an April Fool's joke that, like, I don't think Nintendo themselves did it, but it was like official website for the Star Fox game, but it was fake.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say the Great Ace Attorney, which was a dog.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite April Fool's jokes I've seen this year. Is the Capcom Great Ace Attorney being about dogs?
Yeah. I liked that as well. It's probably one of my favorites.
And they, if you watch the trailer, have you watched the trailer that they put up, the fake trailer for it?
No, I did not.
They replaced all of the like typing noises when the characters talk with barking,
Oh, that's clever.
and instead of the objection,
Yeah.
is like bark.
That's funny. I dig it. But yeah, that pretty much ended things for the Nintendo Direct. Is there anything you want to say about it overall? Your final thoughts on it as a whole?
Despite the weird way it was structured, I think this was a pretty good Nintendo Direct overall.
Mm-hmm.
Some pretty exciting things, some games we haven't heard anything about in a while. The Smash Brothers ballot thing,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
What a bunch of jokers. Meow meow Mario.
Meow Meow Mario forever.
Gotta have Cat Mario.
Gotta have Cat Mario.
You know what? I got a nasty feeling now that was the example because they're going to be doing a Cat Mario. Because they did announce that one of the Mii Fighter costumes is a cat suit.
Yep.
Yay! Get excited, everybody.
What would Cat Mario's moves be to differentiate him from Mario?
Instead of a fireball, it would be a fur ball. Instead of a cape, it would probably still be like a cape.
Yeah, just a different colored cape.
Just a different colored cape. I guess his down B move would probably still be the tornado thing because only regular Mario has flood.
Or it could be the cat pounce.
Yeah, well, that would probably be his up B. Would be the cat pounce.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's there you go.
Final Smash.
Final Smash. I don't know, like a big ball of fucking yarn goes across the screen and he chases it. And like when you press the button, he swipes at it, and if you get hit while he swipes, then you're fucked. I don't know. Oh, that's one thing I actually forgot to mention. The final smashes for Mewtwo is he turns into the Mega Mewtwo. I think it's Y.
Is it the one with the big head or the one with the armor?
One with the big head. That's Y.
Yeah, that's why.
One with a big head. So Mega Mewtwo Y, and he just melts your brain, which is kind of cool. I don't remember if they showed Lucas's. They probably did, and I just don't remember it.
Probably going to be the same as it was before.
Yeah, that's true. Duh.
Is this Starstorm or is this something different?
I think it's Starstorm. But yeah, my thoughts pretty similar to yours. I think again the structure of it was really weird. There was more that I wasn't interested in than what I was interested in. I'm a sucker for Amiibos, so hearing about Lucas and Mewtwo will be getting their own, which I dig. The next wave of them, wave 5. I'm intrigued by that. Splatoon, I've been really interested in since I first saw it at E3 last year. Them getting Amiibos, again, cool, dig it.
Tons of stuff for Fire Emblem fans.
Oh yeah, if you're a Fire Emblem fan, which I am, then fucking god, that was enough to go on for a while. Especially the cross with Shin Megami Tensei in the new game as well. Fatal Frame makes me a very happy person.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's definitely some stuff here that I was happy with. And again, I think they ended it on a very odd note. Going with a game that's been out for 6 months now. Again, it's important to announce DLC, but not to end with. So
especially when it's DLC, that's just an additional difficulty.
Yeah, I mean, even or the announcement that there's going to be DLC that everybody's known about for months.
Yeah.
Again, I think it would have been better had they ended on Star Fox, because I thought that was going to be their big thing, but again...
Maybe. Is that supposed to come out this year?
Yes.
I think it's going to get delayed, because it seems like they don't...
I disagree, because Zelda was delayed, and they've got no other one of their first-party exclusives slated for this year.
That's true.
Mario's already had his game with 3D World, so I don't think that'll be the case. They haven't. There's been no mention of a new Metroid, so...
Yeah, I'm just worried because we have seen, nothing of it.
Yeah. Well, again, that's why I thought it was going to be featured today. That was going to be there. And now, for those of you who stuck around for 45 minutes, here is Star Fox. Please take a look. And there was none of that, so...
Yeah.
Had to end it on an Iwata impression, because that's what we were doing when we were watching it, just making fun of Satoru Iwata, who I fully respect. BT dubs, I've got nothing but respect for Iwata. He are cool guy, doesn't afraid of anything.
His voice is just funny.
His voice is hilarious. To me, he ranks up there with Yoshinori Ono. So
He should say Ryan's lines.
Yeah, as Iwata.
Yeah.
What a bunch of jokers. Please take a look. It's rhyme time. Completely ridiculous. So I guess that's pretty much it. Unless you have anything else you want to say, I'll go into our outros.
I'm pretty. I think
pretty
I
content.
my teeth. Yeah.
I think I made my point. Alright, so thank you for watching this episode of the Wasting Time podcast. As we said earlier, I'm Chris, he's Gray. You can follow us on social media at ChrisTheNerd92 or at RealGrayBob on the tweets. If you want to see more episodes of this podcast, again, this is only our 5th one, but you should check out the other editions of the podcast. We've talked about Naruto and Big Hero 6, All You Need Is Kill. We've talked about some interesting things. Legend of Korra was the other one, so check those out. Give the channel a subscribe if you'd like to see more. If you've got your own thoughts on the stuff we've talked about, if you disagree, if you agree, let us know. We would be happy to engage in conversation that isn't stupid, so As long as you follow that one simple criteria, we would probably be willing to talk back with you.
Uh,
So,
Considering how much stupid conversation we have on our own.
well, when I say stupid, I'm not like, man, fuck two of you, this show's dumb, why do you even bother talking about stuff? That, probably not gonna respond to that. Like, if
Yeah.
you want to say something stupid like, hell yeah, what a bunch of jokers, then alright, we're with you. Let's talk Rhine. Um, but until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chris.
I'm
And
Gray.
he's Gray. And I'm Blue. Dubba D. Dubba Die.
Tabadai.
And we'll see you next time.
In our little blue world.
With a blue house and a blue window. Blue is the color of all that I know. And with that, we end.